All right, the next step is taking a look again at our sketch, and we said as the next thing we want to have here is a section linking again to the guide and with a button for the user to download the guide. So let's go about and adding that. I think by now you know the spiel. All we have to do is select a section, drag and drop it into the body element below the other sections. Oops, we dropped it apparently in one section. Let's try this again. There we go. Now I am going to give this a name, a different class name, because we want to give it some background color. The next thing is I'm going to take a container element and drop it into the section. All right, let's add some content to this section. The first thing I'm going to do is again take a heading element and drop it into the container. Change the heading to H2 and then give this heading some styling. I am going to recycle the styling we applied to the other headings in this page. So I'm just going to give it section heading. And I also want to center this heading. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a button. However, I want the button to also be centered. So in order to do that, I'm going to use a div block to wrap around the button and give the button some styling. Now we apply to the button, we apply the button class. Then I'm going to select the div block and select, I give this div block a new class. And the class I'm going to use is I'm going to create a new class called okay, that's very specific. I'm going to center this button and then we can see how everything looks, and maybe we can use this as well to create more space on this section if we need that later on. Let's change the text to get guide and change this as well. All right, let's preview this. Okay, I think we should give it all a background, so in order for it to stand out a bit more. And let's select this get guide section and we can play around with colors. One thing we could try is give it a blue background that would fit. That's exactly the same blue as this one up here. Let's take a look at how this looks. I think it definitely needs more spacing on both sides, and I'm not so sure if that looks so good. Let's think of a different color maybe. All right, let's try to find a better color for this background color. So in order to do that, let's go back to the material UI scheme, and I already found a color here. Let's try to take this light blue-gray, for example. And I'm going to select this class, get guide. I think that could look better. Let's save this color. And preview everything. Yeah, this looks a bit less aggressive, fits better inside this whole scheme. Now let's give this some spacing. I'm going to increase the padding to 100 on both sides. And maybe also increase the spacing here a bit. For that, I'm going to select the wrapper we wrap the button with, and I'm going to give it a margin of 40 pixels. 60 pixels, 100 pixels. Yeah, 100 is too much. 60 should maybe work. Okay, this looks already a lot better. Now the section stands out. It's not too aggressive like this blue before, and the user can find the guide. The last thing missing from this page now is our footer, and then I think we can do some overall improvements to this page once everything is set. For example, I think there's too much white space here. I think we can make these tiles stand out a bit more. We could, for example, make them grow bigger if we hover over them, like happens when we hover over this button. And again, here there's a bit too much white space, but these all should be quick fixes. Let's though first add our footer section so we can complete this page.